Here we go. 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 Go. It is Thursday, and we're gonna get live on Thursday. Theo in the building. First behavior. Yes. And since you're here, I just wanted to mention to you, congratulations on getting in that new place, bro. I know what it's like. Just dealt with it a year ago. So I feel you. Grats, man. Grats. Big grats. Mr. Ray Smith in the building. How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir? Good to have y'all in the building. Good to have y'all in the building. Let's get some more faces into place. And then I'm about to cut loose. Well, not cut loose, but do what I do. Do what I do. Okay. I'm gonna try not to be in here too long. I don't want to keep y'all too long because this days is starting to get longer. So can't wait, man. Can't wait to see it, bro. I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you, dude. I'm thrilled to pieces. Eddie. Yeah. Yep. Congratulations indeed, sir. Congratulations. Oh, what was I gonna say? Doing a lot of painting. Been doing a lot of painting a lot of figures. I want to hurry up and get that triathlon done so I can display that for y'all. I got to get I think I need to put a piece of tape down the middle of it and paint, the sides so they're even. You know what I mean? Ronnie J in the building. What up? Yeah, we got a few people in here. And when they make themselves known, we can get it on. Hey, Grand Madam in the building. Everybody crawling, creeping and crawling, coming up in here. Yeah, we're going to do it. But like I was saying, Grand Madam, like I was telling them, got the longer days now. So I got to do something different. Well, I guess Diesel in the building. Look like all of the regular players are in the building. We say, I saw new rock stars drop a Monica Rambeau video today. I said to myself, hold my beer. They did theirs on the MCU version. I could probably do a re-edutainment thing on my Monica Rambeau video too. So yeah. And that's perfect segue into what I want to start off with, since there are 8 of y'all in the building and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of y'all showing. Okay, that's enough to get it cracking. Characterization, man, is a huge thing because I feel like they aren't taking the steps to properly characterize things, and not just cinematically, mostly cinematically though. And what I mean by that, yeah, I'm reading comments and thinking at the same time, so you could see me glaze for a second. It wasn't a glaze of confusion; it was a glaze of, should I spit out this thought? Should I read that comment? Yes, in reference to Monica Rambeau, I too will probably have to drop some older videos. I mean, Ain't recycling what you're supposed to do. It's good for the planet. It's good for the planet, knowledge and entertainment wise too. So if it was a good video and somebody learned something out of it, that's what they need. But I digress. Characterization. Okay. You know, is it just me or do a lot of people in general not understand that the comic book is the source material? When you adapt a Stephen King book and turn it into a movie, you have to draw from the material in that book. You could go off the reservation, but I have a feeling that if you deviate too far from the original source material, Stephen King is going to have something to say about that. You know what I'm saying? The problem lies in so many artists and so many writers have put so much into a single character, far more than one writer can put into a single character. And those different nuances and characterizations of that character become a part of that overall character. So when you're talking about what are we going to make this character into, and you're talking about putting it on the screen cinematically, you got to draw from what makes that character that character. Not, okay, we just going to do something entirely different and all we're going to do is use the character, but we're not going to give that character any of the qualities it has in the comics. And so I will argue that you are in effect creating a new character. Is the Thor played by Chris Hemsworth reminiscent of Thor Odin's son in the comics? I don't mean just his appearance. I mean how he acts, how he behaves, how he moves, what he does. Is the Chris Hemsworth Thor like Thor in the comic books? And if he isn't like Thor in the comic books, did they change Thor in the comic books to make it more like Chris Hemsworth? And if they did, why? Wouldn't you want Chris Hemsworth to be more like Thor Odin's son in the comics and not the other way around? That's backwards to me. And it's because, and I understand it's because of this right here, it's because of the money. Okay, we can put Chris Hemsworth on the screen and we can pay him millions of dollars and we can tell him act like this, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Hemsworth will act like that and people will go see it because ain't nobody focusing on the characterization of Chris Hemsworth. Let's just be honest. For a lot of women, Chris Hemsworth is just eye candy. And they don't give a crap what Thor Odin's son acts like in the comics. Get you an energetic gimmick, mix, rinse, repeat. That's what they've been doing for the past decade or so. And that formula will work until it doesn't. What we talking about over here in the comments other than hey, hello, hi, how you doing? Yeah. While y'all at it, like this video. Give me a thumbs up. So, give me a thumbs up. So, give me a thumbs up. Yep, rewind vid time, 100% D. What up, Mario in the building? Paul Martin, what up in the building? Diabolical Nerd, what up in the buildings? Look, sounds like a bunch of hey, hi, how you doing? I was right. Hey, Paul, Diabolical Nerd, hey, hi. You know what this reminds me of when I look at the chat? I think about that sheepdog and that coyote in them old Looney Tunes cartoons. Morning, Ralph. Morning, Sam. You know what I'm saying? And then they get to the business of punching each other out. Looney Tunes. Anyway, hey Kita, Taco Tiger, what's up? Panther God, What it do? Okay, let me tell you how on point we are when it comes to characterization. Comics Explained said the Spider-Man in the MCU is more Iron Lad than Peter Parker. I'm telling Theo, I'm telling you right now, bro, it's all about the subs. Once our subs equal their subs, then people will be like, oh, I guess what he talked about makes sense. 1,000 people like him. And you closer to that than I am, so don't forget the little people. I'm messing with you. Anyways, though, Odin's son in Thor 1 and 2, Thor in Avengers 1 through 3 worked for me. Okay. Okay. Iron Lad. Well, Iron Lad is more like what Peter Parker is in Homecoming to Iron Man in the comics. I know it's a future version of him, but yeah, same kind of thing. Yeah, or yeah, Iron Lad. I could agree with that analysis. You know, what Homecoming should have been was Peter Parker being his own character. Classic characterization of Spider-Man depicts him primarily as a loner. Not need no help or no assistance from nobody. And I assume when he was wearing that ski mask and the goggles, that was supposed to be independent Spider-Man. Until Tony Stark came and said, I'm gonna beef your stuff up. But a Spider-Man moving and having his being solo dolo would be more accurate. Actually, probably be more fun to watch too. How's Spider-Man gonna get out of this fix? He needs help from Tony Stark. Should have just called it Spider-Man and Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man and Iron Man. That's what that movie should have been called, because that's what it was. It's Iron Man Team Up. You know, uh, what are we talking about? MCU Peter Parker is nothing but Marty McFly with superpowers. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Woohoo! I'm having hot tea on a hot day. I don't know why. Maybe I need to have some cold tea on a hot day. Probably need to get the jug out, make me a jar of sun tea here pretty soon. I sound so country. Anyway, um, Spider-Man of all characters didn't need an RDJ cosign. Diesel, flagship character. You know what I'm saying? Flagship. That's like saying Batman needed to be in a Superman movie to validate Superman. Wasn't Spider-Man created and a hit and had a whole comic book and was doing well and had a TV show before Iron Man even got his first issue? I have to look. You know what? Since all y'all doing is talking, I'm gonna look that up for you. Um, Iron Man #1. No. See, and that's another thing. When you're looking stuff up and you're looking up Iron Man, automatically the 2008 film comes up. You gotta specify now because it's a whole thing now. It's a whole thing now. You know what I mean? And that's how we have to accept it, like it's a whole thing in and unto itself. You know what I mean? Yep. Spider-Man had a whole comic book running for a bunch of issues before Iron Man even got his issue 1. Spider-Man, what, 62? Iron Man didn't get his comic book until 68. So why does Spider-Man need Iron Man to bolster his character? Spider-Man fans way before Iron Man movie. Way before Iron Man movie. So yeah, and that's how that exactly, Gray. They made Peter Parker seem like Dick Grayson. You know what I'm saying? Like I need him to validate me. Can't wait to see if they're going to Miles Justice on the big screen when they do drop. If they're going to do Miles Justice, okay, all right, slow down. You can't wait to see if they're going to do Miles Justice on the big screen when they do drop. Do they really want to put a Miles on the screen? You know what I mean? You gotta say Iron Man 616. So we live in a world now when I say Spider-Man, you got to go in 4 or 5 different directions to find out which Spider-Man I'm talking about. Now, there's enough of a mythos in the Spider-Man video games where you could get that all caught up in it too. Because if I'm not mistaken, in Into the Spider-Verse, did I not see the Velocity suit Spider-Man in that plethora of Spider-Man? So it's all one big connected universe, or at least that's what they want to lead you to believe. So that the characterization becomes a single characterization, but that single characterization is the cinematic one. What they say on the supers, when everybody's super, no one will be. When all the universes are connected, there will only be one universe. The connected universe. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying we should not have a connected universe. I think a connected universe is a cool thing. The first 3 phases where they connected everything together, that was beautiful. But why is it so chaotic to have separate universes? Why is that so chaotic? Why do we have to connect them? Or why do we have to say, oh, this universe is aware of the existence of that universe? If in fact there are a myriad of universes, then there's going to be a crap ton of universes that never get discovered by that same token. Right? But us, being the explorers and adventurers that we are, we've got to catalog everything. We've got to make sure everything is weighed and measured and found to be of a standard that is acceptable. No. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with having this universe over here and it being an unquantified quantity. We live in this day, everything has to be measured. Everything has to be weighed. Everything has to sit at this standard. Why you can't just have Spider-Man? Why you can't just have Thor? You're confusing the issue for the sake of educating people who give you money for it. Is that about the gist of it? We're gonna keep making movies and creating new origins and new stories and new ideas. Sam got a sister now, and she's sweet on the Winter Soldier. Sam's a veteran but can't get a VA loan. I mean, these are the things that they're telling us we gotta live with now. Meanwhile, in the Falcon comic book, he beating up people without his suit on who got superpowers. When the Sam becomes superhuman. See what I'm saying? Is Sam gonna be superhuman in the movies too? You know, said me and Mario was talking about that on Twitter the other day, man. He picking up and throwing a 250-pound man with one arm, airborne. Now I could see you catching him and trying to keep him from falling, but catching him and then throwing him. Sam Wilson's a super now. So I guess what I'm getting at is this. Should there be one contiguous universe consisting of different universes, or just keep them separate and occasionally, they bump into each other. Occasionally they run into each other. Not just everybody in every universe is meeting everybody else in every other universe. No excitement there. Yeah, see, Grace said the same thing I said earlier. Peter Parker's not a ward like Dick Grayson was the Batman. He's always been his own man, making it on his own. No need for a mentor. Yep, all the good and bad films are top page. D, can you add me on Messenger? I want to ask you something important. I can't ask in the chat. Well, in a minute. Sit tight. Yeah, my bad. How I wrote that. Don't trip. Don't trip. It's lighthearted in here, as you will find. How about the new Spider Boy going wild? That is what I say, Panther guy. Meh. Meh. I usually type comic. Okay. Okay. I have always preferred the comics version of Spidey in a duo or team dynamic. Not necessarily the case with the live action versions. But we know they ain't gonna do right the comic true meaning. Everything is judged. Okay. MCU Sam needs a girlfriend too. Huh. The run was wild, especially when he fights Black Panther and Symbol of Truth. That's what I was referring to, Panther God. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Just lift one. It's kind of like what they did over in DC with Batman in the 70s after Neil Adams and Dennis O'Neil took over writing and illustrating chores on Batman. They made Batman more of a detective, more grittier, more of a street edge to him, because people, when you said Batman, thought of the Adam West Batman. And folks was tired of the jokey joke, campy, goofy, Bat-tootsie Batman doing all. So they had to make Batman into something respectable and make it serious. Okay. And so now we don't talk about the Adam West Batman as much. Quiet as kept, it was fun. It was a fun romp. It was camp. Long as you knew it was camp, you ain't tripped. But then when people started demanding a more comic accurate Batman, a strange thing happened. It worked. And so in the late 80s, you got Frank Miller with The Dark Knight Returns. And at that point, everybody was like, Batman got to be rough, harsh, hardcore, evil, monstrous. He got to be scary. He's got to go back to his scary roots. He's got to go back to, but they wouldn't let him kill. They wouldn't let him use guns like he did back in the 30s, in the 40s. Cut all that out. So, not to say changes can't be good for a character, but when you make changes to a character in the comic book and then cinematically you have something entirely different, what tends to happen is that character begins to take on the qualities in the comic of the cinematic version. Not saying that's a bad thing. It can work. Blade. But if you got an established character with established characteristics, you got to introduce them weird bizarro changes gradually. You can't just go boom. Batman woke up one day and decided he was bisexual. Yeah, y'all got to ease us into that, bro. You can't just and do it for the right reasons. Do it to drive a story. Don't do it to try to get people to buy more issues of that comic book. Because I'm not buying no Batman and Robin comic book because Robin's bisexual. I don't care about none of that. That doesn't relate to me. I'm trying to find something I can relate to in a book. If I can't relate to that book at all, then I'm not going to buy that book. Much in the same way, if I can't relate to that movie, I'm not going to that movie either. In my opinion, that's why characterization isn't proper. Characterization is important. Okay. I don't expect the movie to be just like the comic book. They done disappointed me too many times for me to continue to expect that. So that when I do get it, it's a pleasant surprise, but I'm not expecting it anymore. Iron Man was like the comic book, in my opinion, in every way except his personality. You made him a snarky a-hole, and people like that. So guess what happened in the comic book? Tony Stark became a snarky a-hole. I mean, he was already kind of, sarcastic and sassy, but that wasn't the crux of his character. You know what I mean? What y'all talking about? Last time I checked, Spider-Man was pretty darn smart, like Tony, right? Yeah, they dumbed him and T'Challa down, Panther God. I think the multiverse is a device to create new and different storylines for the same characters, but multiverses give me a headache. Yes, Grand Madam, and that's what happens when you keep constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. Rock with it and be done. Don't keep trying to give us these new, innovative, universal, multiversal, omniversal things. There are plenty of stories in one universe for you to work on. Knock those out first before you go universal. That's because, I thought it would be a street level, a city level, a national level, an international level, a galactic level, a universal level, a multiversal level. See how that works? It builds progressively. But when you go street level, boom, universal level. Happened to all of the stories and things that could have happened in between. You just squandered all of that. You squandered like 15 years of comic book writing. Then you're going to bring it back on the back end and try to explain it, and it's going to sound and look incomplete. And he fight his half brother. Yeah. Neck of the Woods universe. Street, magic, cosmic, Avenger level, and then the MCU. See? Great. See, y'all. I rock with y'all. And they didn't hint at Batman being somewhat meta-human. Exactly. You're doing all of this meta-human stuff, but nope. I'm just a costume adventurer. Sam just a costume adventurer, defeating superhuman foes, and ain't got skills close to Shang-Chi. Stop the cap. That is called plot armor, ladies and gentlemen. That fight, didn't it take place in Falcon's comic book? Enough said. I grew up on the Adam West Batman 60 show. I enjoyed it. I did too, Ronnie. But my point is, Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams decided that ain't the Batman we want to take into the 70s and the 80s. And so they reinvented Batman and made him a little grittier, which I honestly appreciate, because after a while it just became campy and a joke. And Batman shouldn't be no joke. I mean, I ain't no huge Batman fan, but I don't want him to look foppish and clownish and foolish. You know what I mean? You got this dad bod looking dude in a tight suit doing bat dances, and everything is bat this and bat that. And come on. Hard to take that serious. Hard to take that serious. Okay. Frank Miller made Batman a beast in that series. Yes, he did. They don't have to connect all the time, just when an overall storyline needs them to do so. I agree, Greg. The route they're going, they need a separate universe. The current is garbage. They keep giving us crap we didn't ask for. They go out of their way to do the opposite of what we want. Agree with that too, Diabolical. Do you think Ben Affleck Batman movie would have been good or not? Panther God, if a Ben Affleck Batman movie was like the fight scene in Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, hell yeah. Because that was the coldest scene in that entire movie. I actually was like, remember in Bad Boys when Martin Lawrence started driving the car good, and when they got done, Will Smith was like, that's how you supposed to drive. From now on, you drive. That's how it was. That's how Batman's supposed to kick people's asses. From now on, Batman should kick ass like that. Yeah, you make a whole Batman movie like that, I would have been there for it. You know what I mean? That it would have been. I mean, because Ben Affleck, he was. You say what you want to say, but he in the top 3 Batman ever, in my opinion. So, people might argue, but what you want me to do? That what they doing now just for sales and not a damn good story. So sometimes I just buy it just to collect for real. A reboot post Secret Wars would be an easy fix. You got all of this Kang stuff out here. Can't tell me. You got all this multiverse stuff out here. Can't tell me. Y'all got plans to do Secret Wars. Ain't no reason. Ain't no reason or excuse. You got all the tools in place to bring T'Challa back. Just won't do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yep. Pre-MCU Tony was more of a Howard Hughes type. Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't a dick, is what I'm getting at. They made him a dick in the movies, and comics followed suit. Yes, sir. I'm in, and the scene was sick. Yeah. And where did Batman get all this strength from? Plot armor. Let's see. DB, I agree with you on them changing Batman into a more grittier character, but Adam West was my first introduction to the character of Batman. I understand, Ronnie. I'm not dissing Adam West Batman. I grew up on it just like you. I put my raincoat on my neck and ran down the street going Batman, just like everybody else. However, I read comic books, and the Batman I saw in the comic books fighting Man-Bat, the Batman I saw in the comic books fighting 10 Eyes. Look that up. That's the 10-eyed man. That's an actual character. His eyeballs are on his fingers. Anyway, the character I saw on the Adam West show didn't match what I saw in the comics. Shoot, it didn't even match what I saw in the cartoons. So It was like, yeah, y'all gotta do something different. It's gotta evolve, it's gotta change from what it is. Because the comic book was selling. So if the comic book is selling, people take that to mean people like this version of Batman. And so again, across all medium, we start turning him into what he is when people like him the most. Problem nowadays, they don't even turn the character into the most liked version of that character. Did we get the most liked version of T'Challa? Did we get the most liked version of Falcon? Did we get the most liked version of the Vision? When you dub a phase, I see Gray about to drop one. When you dub a phase the multiversal saga, you better show me some multiversal connections and plot points throughout the phase. I agree with that, Gray. But then what do you do for an encore? You just start over at the multiversal point? Because what can you do beyond multiversal if it's about stepping your game up? We ain't got a group of super villains in the MCU yet. Not a viable set. And the Black Order don't count. And the Wrecking Crew on the She-Hulk damn show don't count. We have not seen a group of super villains in the MCU. No Masters of Evil. No Frightful Four. No proper iteration of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But now it's just the Brotherhood. So you got no supervillain teams. That's another level that they could have went through on the way to Universal and Multiversal. Squandered opportunity. Yeah, Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams made bats more badass. They certainly did. Moyo Kid said, okay, Ray says, Rob Pattinson's Batman seems like Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams' Batman. Yeah, they did lean more towards the detective aspect of the character, but he was also great. So, Dennis O'Neil, Chuck Dixon, right around there. That's a cool Batman. That's a cool Batman. Nope, not at all. Okay, nope. This one, yep, everybody, okay. All right, you said it twice. Cecil. What up, Mr. Mario? MCU villains have been so mediocre lately. They mess up the Wrecking Crew debut on the She-Hulk. Where is the super villain group in the MCU? No Lethal Legion. No Salem 7. WandaVision would have been a great opportunity to introduce the Salem 7. Nah, we went with an evil Agatha. Bunch of squandered opportunities. I got some year one vibes from the Batman 2. Yeah. Rumor says Serpent Society in Cap 4. Okay. That what the rumors say. But that's what it is until it's a fact. A rumor. But I personally think that's going to be too much because you already got 8 trillion Hulk villains and characters in the movie. Serpent Society is going to seem like overkill. Or if you do put the Serpent Society in it, they're going to have like a super cameo and get dealt with real fast, which is not respectful of a group of villains that have a whole damn toy line that been in the comics for years upon years that done had different iterations of the group. You know what I'm saying? They went from Serpent Squad to Serpent Society. So we ain't gonna give him no love. I don't know. I'm talking out the side of my neck. I don't know yet. The Hand. Man, well, was that the Hand in the Daredevil Netflix special, kid? Was that a respectable version of the Hand? I didn't like Scott Glenn as Stick either, because Scott Glenn can't fight. And Stick's a master. So missed opportunity there. Could have made Stick an old dude who knew how to fight. Why didn't y'all make Chuck Norris Stick? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Yep. Gray said, and they're too busy making villains good guys. M'Baku, Nakia, and whatever they're doing with Mordo. I thought he was murdering sorcerers. And why didn't anybody at Marvel get the same revelation with the villains that they did with the heroes? Why ain't the villains coming together and forming their own group? Why they not? You see, you can't beat them. Why don't you get some mugs together to help you beat them? At least that's what they were leaning towards in the Snyderverse. We might have got a Legion of Doom. Probably won't get a Legion of Doom now, but that would have been great to see. That would have been great to see. See, folks going off in the comments. Bless me. Did I just bless myself? You can't do that. Anyway, Frightful Four, Circus of Crime. Yeah, they get killed off too fast to do it. Thank you, Panther God. Thank you, kid. Yeah, and they got to get over that kill switch. You know what I mean? Let's hit the kill switch. Can he die? Yeah, let's kill Mickey Rourke's character. He can die. Meanwhile, Ghost gets to live. We gonna kill Kang and Killmonger. Oh, we just killing everybody in that franchise. Not Kang. I'm sorry. I meant Claw. Claw, Killmonger, T'Challa, his mama. Killing everybody. Just kill them off. Kill them all. Kill them all. What we gonna do about that? Because Marvel makes all of their villains SS, says Theo. And that stands for sympathetic or silly. Okay. Good transition point here. Good transition point. Now, I know y'all gonna love this. Didn't they try to get the supervillains together in the Marvel Avengers cartoon? They got the storyline right there to do it. Yeah, they had at least in Avengers Assemble, you had the Squadron Supreme. In Earth's Mightiest, you had very respectable versions of AIM and Hydra. Got to see the Wrecking Crew. You know what I mean? I think it was these things who said it in one of my comment streams. Animated is still a good format to kick off a franchise or a movie or something like that. If you can't get folks together to do a movie, I settle for an animated movie because they institutionalized the Black Panther franchise. Meanwhile, the Guardians of the Galaxy got their happy ending. Bruh. They ended the Guardian franchise. Everybody split up and went their separate ways and nobody died. Why enough? Couldn't they do that with T'Challa? They just couldn't do it. No matter how hard they tried, they just couldn't do it. Couldn't or wouldn't? Okay. Like I said, transition. Um, what's some movies from the 80s or the 90s that we could make into a viable comic book based movie or or start its own universe? Now, here's well, y'all already know what one of mine is going to be. But this is my top 3 movies that I was thinking about from the 90s that they could make into a comic or remake into a movie, either one. Of course, if y'all saw the video the other day, I did a video about Meteor Man. Meteor Man, great franchise, just sitting around, nobody doing nothing with it. Ain't no action figures, ain't no animated series, ain't no live action TV series, ain't no movie plans, nothing. And that's a great character, just sitting around, ain't nobody doing nothing with. And that's another one that tugs at the urban heartstrings so you could get a demographic in there to rock with that, given the right cast. And now with, the advances that have been made in CG and special effects since 1993, you telling me you can't make the fight scenes in Meteor Man, the flying sequences, the power use sequences look way cooler? Or is it because Meteor Man seems much too much like Superman? We don't need no black apex superhero in the comics or in the movies again, because then they'll make Kal-El look bad or people like him look bad. Maybe I might be reaching, but I feel like I ain't gonna put my conspiracy theory cap on, but I ain't seen nothing like Meteor Man since Meteor Man on screen. That's my first choice. My second choice, I did a video on a while back, like top 5. I think it was like old television series, Mantis. I don't know. I'm pulling that up. I gotta tell y'all because I think that was that I think that show was well done. It was very well done, and it should have gotten more more attention than it did. Okay, Mantis ran from August of 94 to March of 95. And it was done by Sam Ham and Sam Raimi. Okay. How hard would it be to get them cats to come back and rock on this joint? And the shit was an acronym. Did you know that? It stood for Mechanically Augmented Neurotransmitter Interception System. For those of you who are not familiar with Mantis and you didn't watch Mantis, it featured Carl Lumley. Y'all know who Carl Lumley is? He's the voice of the Martian Manhunter on Justice League. He played Miles Hawkins, paralyzed scientist, made himself a suit that allowed him not only to walk but do superhuman stuff. He had a ship. I think it was called the Chrysalis. It was a very cool concept. It was a very cool show, and it had potential. All they needed to do was add more superpower antagonists for Mantis to face, and that show could have ran easily for at least 4 or 5 seasons. You can't bring that back to television? Put that joint on the screen. Matter of fact, put Mantis, Meteor Man, Blank Man, and what's another black super? It ain't got to be a black superhero. Who remembers Star Kid? Do you remember Star Kid? It was like a kid show. This dude, it was like a robot, but he could get inside of the robot and he could fight with the robot. It was almost like Kid Iron Man, I guess, but it was like an alien suit. It was campy, it was cheesy, but it was a cool concept. And I think it would have worked. as a movie. But for me, Blank Man and Mantis is my top two. And I know y'all getting ready to blow up the spot with y'all choices. Kamoya, I have Meteor Man #1 comic and the ones with his team up with Spider-Man. The other character would have been Night Thrasher. And it had Golden Lord. You talk about #1 of the 6-issue miniseries, or are you talking about the movie adaptation? Because I have. I ain't gonna go dig it out right now, but I got him. Meteor Man, definitely. These Diesel said Meteor Man Rebirth. Kamoyo Kid said Night Man. That would have been cool if it had been done better. Auto Man. I mean, I enjoy. I watched Night Man. It was a guilty pleasure. Auto Man, Mantis, and Manimal. I remember Manimal. That came out around the time The Howling came out. And I don't know if y'all remember, it was a werewolf movie called The Howling, and they had the special effects where the face would bubble and the snout would come out and the chest would do all of that. Manimal was a take on that, but he was a dude who could turn into different animals. So he would like turn into a panther or turn into a bird or some stuff like that. So yeah. What Theo say? Still waiting on that supposed Hancock sequel. Low key though. Let's recast Hancock and see what happens. Anyway, a lot of people said Manus. See Manus see Manus in the chat quite a bit. A lot of y'all liked Manus. Okay. Panther guy remembers Manus. Diesel said Manus was cool. Oh, yes. He is Black Jesus, my dude in the building. What's up, brother? Kindred the Embraced. I don't know if y'all remember Kindred the Embraced, but Kindred the Embraced was a show. I think it ran for 2 seasons. The really good shows only run for like 2 seasons. Why is that? But anyway, it was a show based on a card game, actually. And it was about different clans of like vampires. You had the Toreadors and you had the Brouhahas and it was another one. It was a couple of them, but they were, the main group of vampire was trying to keep the peace between the warring factions. So that was, let's call it the precursor to Underworld. But it was a lot, I feel like it was a little classier than Underworld because it was more innuendo of what was going to happen versus them actually going, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to turn into a werewolf and bite you. I'm a vampire and I'm going to shoot you. So that kind of a thing. It was a dope show. I liked it. And my man's liked it too. But Carl Lumbly was in Captain America and Winter Soldier. Captain America and Winter Soldier. Yeah. Carl Lumbly played Isaiah Bradley. Elijah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley? Elijah Bradley. Or was it Isaiah Bradley? He played the Black Captain America. Auto Man. Yeah, somebody said Auto Man. Yep. Carl had a good run on Alias. Yep. Airwolf. Wow. You bringing back memories. Okay, well, if we're going all the way back that far, when I'm going to get my $6 Million Man reboot? I heard Kevin Smith was trying to make a $6 Million Man movie, and he was going to call it Cyborg. And before y'all say that's a terrible name, the novel that the $6 Million Man was based on is called, Cyborg. Because that's what he is. Yeah, 6 Man. I mean, that was another one. Now, more so than Batman, Steve Austin was my dude. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but just hey, come on now. Come on. My wife always laughs at me when I talk about that. It's like, man, y'all watch some boring stuff. Yeah, $6 Million Man wasn't boring because it wasn't nothing more exciting at the time. I like that show. $6 Million Man would be a great show to remake. Because I know they tried to redo the Bionic Woman. Failed. Because they went left with it. They tried to like rewrite Jamie Summers' origin and wasn't including Steve Austin in it. How you gonna have Jamie Summers and not include Steve Austin? That's why that didn't work so well. How about Highwayman? Yeah, Isaiah Bradley. Thank you, D. Steezel. Highwayman. I remember that show. Somebody said Flash Gordon. That is like one of my all-time favorite guilty pleasures. That movie redone the right way could be good because it was camp that became a cult classic. And I feel like the only thing that keeps that movie prevalent in people's head is the do Flash. And everybody remembers that Queen soundtrack, but people don't remember the movie. Does D Real remember the movie? D Real can recite the dialogue from the movie. So yeah, I would dare to say, other than Alex Ross, there is no human being on the planet with more knowledge about the 80s Flash Gordon movie than yours truly here. I went and seen that movie in the theater 7 times. So I am intimately familiar with Flash Gordon. That would need to be yeah. And just use that old soundtrack and just do it like that. That'd be dope too. They bought the Bionic Woman back and failed. Yeah, they failed terribly. Give Night Thrasher the Knight Rider 2000 car. Theo, you tripping? Like, no. Him and Kit wouldn't get along. A V anime. Ooh, great. That would be cool. Black Jesus. Hey y'all, bet not sleep on Captain Planet remake. I think Don Cheadle messed that up for a lot of people. Because when I think about Captain Planet, that's all I think about is Don Cheadle dressed up as Captain Planet. Anyway, the Bionic Woman had better episodes. The Phantom, ooh, Keita, good one. Defenders of the Earth. I would love to see that live action. That'd be cool. Who was it? It was Flash Gordon. It was Mandrake the magician, the Phantom, and his kid, and they had a brother named Lothar. And Lothar is an actual character. I actually did a video on Lothar because I got a Lothar action figure. But Lothar back in like the 30s and 40s was depicted as the strongest man on earth. But they made him talk like the Hulk, like a savage Hulk. Lothar, not like evil men, that kind of a thing. But then in the 50s and 60s, as they, went on, Lothar got a little more respectable, and, he was like a boss, and, he had, minions and that kind of a thing. But why would you give up an entire kingdom to go running behind a magician? That's the part I never understood. But like with Defenders of the Earth, they made it more like they were like homies rather than him being his man Friday or however you want to look at that. But yeah, Defenders of the Earth. And they had Ming the Merciless. So, I mean, you got a built-in villain right there. You got built-in heroes right there. But I feel like Defenders of the Earth would be too kid-friendly. I think Defenders of the Earth kind of reminds me of like Spy Kids. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of action. You know what I mean? So anyway, who remembers a cartoon called Mummies Alive? Tell me that wouldn't be a dope movie, or a animated series or something like that. Yeah, Defenders of the Earth. Keita says Sheena. Ooh, look at you, Keita. You a nerd. What you know about Sheena? You must know something. You mentioned her. Lothar. Yep. The Galaxy Rangers. Oh my gosh. Man. Well, if we talk about that era, then we need a Thunderbird, I mean a Thundercats movie and a Silverhawks movie. Matter of fact, we need a Thundercats and Silverhawks meet G-Force movie. Ooh. Uh-oh. Mighty Orbots. Here we go. Yep. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Y'all going nuts. Y'all going, I've created a monster. Look at y'all. Not Diabolical Nerd. Mummy's Alive. There's one for Mummy's Alive. Mummy's Alive was dope, man. And again, one season of it. One season, just nothing. Like, what happened in a Mummy show? What happened in a Mummy show? I went to watch that Mummy show. Because I get high and watch Mummy live. Oops, did I say that out loud? It was a good show. He said too late. How about Cordelia and Dinosaurs cartoon? Mask. Okay, Macros. GoBots. Centurions. Jace and the Wheel Warriors. Brave Star. Yeah, all that. All that. Now, this is what I'm saying. Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Okay, I remember that. I'm like Cordelias and dinosaurs. Cadillacs. Cadillacs and dinosaurs. I remember that show. Yeah. And see, now, here's my thing. Do y'all see all of this shit y'all just named off? But we keep getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Scooby-Doo. You know what I'm saying? What about a damn space ghost? A serious space ghost movie or series. Do a space ghost series based on that Joe Kelly comic that he did with the Alex Ross covers. Do that Space Ghost. That would be a dope Space Ghost anything. If you do Space Ghost like that, because Space Ghost was ruthless in that series, man. He was killing mugs. Like, y'all killed my wife, I'm killing everybody. Space Ghost was a whole monster in that comic book. So do something like that. The Herculoids, Birdman, yep. Cold Tiger say Thundar the Barbarian. Man, I've been waiting for a Thundar the Barbarian anything for a long time. I'd take a Thundar the Barbarian short, man. Just make some new ones. Thundar was that cat. You know what I'm saying? I was up with my cereal for Thundar. Me and my brother, matter of fact, we were up like, because normally we would fight over who got to watch what. Well, we didn't fight. He'd just take over the TV and I just had to watch stuff. But fortunately for me, Thundar was a show that we both liked to watch. So there was harmony, at least for that 30 minutes. Herculoids. Yeah, I just said Herculoids, Theo. Thundar and Space Ghost meet the Herculoids and what was they called? Team Force. Yeah, the Space Stars, Team Force, and they fighting that flying ape Uglor. Uglor. I don't think they went too deep for that name, Uglor. I got all these memories in my head, all these little weird shows. Now I'm gonna go. How a real serious Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest, yeah, Johnny Quest would be a great movie. Still, I would like to see Gloop and Gleep, Zoc, Tundro, and Igu and Xandor and his family fighting stuff. That's boom. That concept just sits down and goes, I can be anything you want me to be. Blue Falcon. Now, I could do a Blue Falcon series if they take all that camp out of it. if they take all of that clowning out of it. If Dynamite's in it, I mean, make what he does when he goofs up plausible, but not messing up the day and accidentally saving the day all the time. Let some of that be because of Blue Falcon's merits, or let some of that be because Blue Falcon did something. You know what I mean? Not just, if I ain't got Dynamite, I can't do nothing. You're a whole superhero, dude. You should be able to do stuff without Dynamite. Just a thought. Long as it's like that. Yep. Y'all. Pirates of Darkwater. Hey. I'm about to throw one at y'all. SWAT cats. Bruh. That, I was gonna mention the Impossibles, Cold Tiger, but you know what? The Impossibles, believe it or not, was a little before my time, but they had the Super Globetrotters, and a couple of the Super Globetrotters had the same exact powers as the Impossibles. They literally took the Impossibles' powers, gave them to the Globetrotters. SWAT cats, street sharks, biker mice from Mars. Yeah, not talking about the Michael Keaton film or Cash Money. Yeah, we know Birdman, D. Steezel. We all know Birdman. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All that. But we're being stifled because people refuse to do what we're doing right now. I know they got a writer's strike right now, but when the writer's strike wasn't on, you know what would be a good thing to do? Let's write some shit up right now and send it to them and go, hey, make this. Your writers, that'd make us scabs though, wouldn't it? Mask, yeah. All of this could really work, bro. All of this could really work. I can see a premise for every single thing that's been named in here. Instead of, I did a video a couple years ago, 2021, on HBCU. And no, that wasn't for no historic Black college and university. It was Hanna-Barbera Cinematic Universe. And I did it with my homie Kokai, and we talked about all of this, like Space Ghost, Herculoids, Mytor, Thundar the Barbarian, the Galaxy Trio, all of them, Birdman, all of them heroes, them Hanna-Barbera heroes that popped up between like 66 and 68. Boom, make them into a live action cinematic universe. Quit tripping on Marvel. Marvel done went off the tracks with some of the stuff they doing now. So get something else out there that's gonna make people come out and rock. You know what I'm saying? Gargoyles. Kamoyo, I heard there is supposed to be a Gargoyles reboot coming out soon. So keep your eyes open for that. Darkwing Duck. You know, low key. Darkwing Duck was a guilty pleasure. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I would just watch I didn't have no kids around. I just watch Darkwing Duck to watch Darkwing Duck, because that's what I do. You walk in the house, ain't no kids around, just me watching Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Darkwing Duck has some good villains. Yeah. Megavolt. And then what's his name? Became Robo-Duck. What was it? Launchpad? he became Robo-Duck. They had a little squad. They formed them up a little. Yeah. Darkwing Duck was That's the only thing people watch Disney Plus for now is they old stuff. I don't think nobody really rocks with they do content hardly. What name was his name? It was who was the electricity guy? That's the one I like. Who was that? He looked like he was wasn't he a dog like Goofy? Heard about the reboot. They're still around in comics. Yep. Diabolical no. For me, Beast Wars and Gargoyles. Well, look like you about to get your Beast Wars Diabolical with the Transformer movie is coming out. All right. We are y'all going ham. That you know what? Just from the myriad of stuff that y'all have named out, I can tell the age group that's in the chat. I can tell the age group. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody in this chat is between 35 and 55. Except with a few notable exceptions. And I ain't gonna name who the few notable exceptions is. But on average, y'all like 35, 55. Man, it might be somebody. You older than 55? Well, you 56? Danger Mouse. Oh, yeah. And Penfold. He's the greatest. He's the smartest. He's the wisest. He's the best. Danger Mouse. I remember Danger Mouse with the iPad. Yeah, I used to watch Danger Mouse on when Nickelodeon first came out. When I used to watch Danger Mouse. Oh, stop! You in the demographic? Stop it! I said 30 between 35 and 55. Ain't 42 between 35 and 55? It's all love. It's all love. Y'all be trying to stump me, man. I can tell by your choices. Be quiet. He is Black Jesus. You ain't no. I say 25. You forgot you put a picture in there? Oh, these chats are so fun, y'all. y'all made me forget how much fun I have in these chats. Y'all are a hoot, as a friend of mine would say. Oh, dear, you're a hoot. Does that mean I'm an owl? No, I don't know. That's white people talk for you're fun. Anyway, Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. Paul Martin, you are dating yourself. Okay, you might be one of them people in a demographic that's a little higher up than me. Courageous Cat, woo! That's Rocky and Bullwinkle era right there. The Tick, spoon, yeah, but they done did Tick like 2-3 times already. They got like what two or three live action versions of the Tick. But they got one on Amazon right now. They had one back in the 90s, I want to say, where Paul Warburton was the Tick. And that's great because he translated perfectly into the Tick. Heathcliff, the Max. Okay, y'all. I don't want to talk about Richard Dreyfuss, but we can we can speak about that real briefly, and then we can go to the Q&A, and then we can be out. But Voltron, how we skipped that one because there's already been a reboot with like 6 seasons, ain't it? 5 or 6 seasons on Netflix. Catch up, Panther God. That dusty jar of mayonnaise. Yeah. Now, for those of you that don't know what Richard Dreyfuss said, okay, before I get into that and we run him into the earth, Let me just say, he made some very good points in the 30-minute segment he did on Firing Line, which was an episode premiered on May 5th. If you want to watch that in its entirety, it's all over YouTube. Fireline is free every week. They post their videos every week. You can pull that up. You can say Richard Dreyfuss on Fireline. It'll come right up. You can watch that. Watch that entire video. That entire video is not indicative of that one statement. However, the one statement he did make lived up to the saying of everybody pays attention to the 1-0-ish and not your 50 attaboys. Couple things you're going to be able to tell right away listening to the man talk. Number one, he is definitely a conservative. Not saying that's a good thing, not saying that's a bad thing, just saying it's a damn fact. Another thing you're going to be able to tell, he waited until he got all his flowers and accolades and whatnot before he started saying weird things. Also, he's on an initiative to try to educate the next generation civic-wise, because his whole thought process is, how can you serve in Congress if you don't even know what your job is supposed to be in Congress and you don't know the rules and regulations of the job that you take on? A lot of congressmen in there right now, people saying, how did he get in there? How did she get in there? Does she know her job? Does he know his job? Be that as it may, Richard Dreyfuss began talking about art. And when he talked about art, he mentioned the 1965 performance of Laurence Olivier in Othello. And he's angry that everybody's so woke now and saying, who's fit to do this or who's fit to do that. You telling me a Jewish person couldn't play the Merchant of Venice? Why are you telling me I'm never going to get the chance to play Othello? What y'all think about that? What y'all think about Richard Dreyfuss? I mean, the way he said it, it could have been interpreted as he was saying it rhetoric-wise or rhetorically, is what that it doesn't necessarily require an answer, or was he actually saying, are you telling me because of the way society is now, I'm not going to get to play Othello? Side note, an actual black person didn't play Othello in the movies until 1995. Lawrence Fishburne. So, like I said in the video last night, if Lawrence Fishburne can play Othello, should we get Richard Dreyfuss to play Ike Turner? Could Rich play Ike Turner? Could Rich play the character that Lawrence Fishburne played in Deep Cover? Could Richard Dreyfuss play Socrates Fortlow? Ooh, who remembers Socrates Fortlow? Always outnumbered, always outgunned. That was a hell of a performance there. Okay. A big, however. Yes, it was. They say Rich is bugging. Paul Martin, 56. All right. 56 Club. Patrick Stewart played Othello, and he switched the cast to be all black. And that is why I love Patrick Stewart. Anyway, LOL, he's wanting to do blackface or something. Yes, Diabolical. He said so. He's proud of Laurence Olivier doing blackface in 1975. If you watch my video on that, what was going on in this country in 1965? Malcolm X got assassinated in 1965. Watts riots was in 1965. The pulse of black people was not on Laurence Olivier's raggedy performance. Nobody was paying, nobody black was paying attention to that. And if they were offended. And in 1965, didn't nobody care about what black people were offended about. The Civil Rights Act that had just got passed. Wasn't nobody studying Othello? Because they wouldn't let nobody black play Othello. Because Othello was gangster. And don't nobody want to see no black man checking a Caucasian woman. Or a Caucasian woman falling all over a black man. Or a white man in blackface. He can just get some Kiwi black shoe polish and he can be whomever he wants to be. Cole Tiger, you need to look up the pictures of Laurence Olivier doing Othello. That's exactly what the hell he looked like. Like he took some Kiwi shoe polish and put it on his face. I was like, okay, all right, gotcha. Patrick came up in the Royal Shakespeare Company. Patrick Stewart's a stand-up guy. I've seen him in interviews and just, he cool. And he got a real young wife. Go, Pat, go. I shouldn't have did that, huh? Anyway, he was in Krippendorf's Tribe. Richard must miss that movie. Sidney Poitier, Louis Gossett Jr., Ozzie Davis, Harry Belafonte. Yes, they were all available at that time, and didn't nobody ask them. And Sidney Poitier had just won an Academy Award. Oh, we don't want the Academy Award-winning black actor to play Othello. Let's put him in Raisin in the Sun. That'd be safer. How does the chat feel about Soul Man and Tropical Thunder? Yes, I remember, Gray. Them folks think we are drow elves when they do blackface. Richard as Kunta Kinte. Okay, I can't speak for the chat. But as for me, Soul Man had some eyebrow raising moments, to say the least. Tropic Thunder. Unpopular opinion. I'm just going to say unpopular opinion. My opinion of Tropic Thunder is an unpopular opinion. Kamoyo Kid said both movies were cringe to him coming up. How great doing that. The mentality is still the same now with them not caring if we're offended with how they tell us to forget about our history of being terrorized or tell us to shut up and dribble the ball. Well, a lot of it too is about how you see yourself. We can't control the actions of other people. We can't control what other people do. We can't control what other people say. Just like, we've been sitting here ranting and raving all this time about T'Challa. Did we get a T'Challa? No. We got a T'Child. You know what I'm saying? And do you think they care about how we feel about that? Hell no, because they moving forward with their stuff. So in that same vein, if you don't want anything like that to get traction or notoriety or something like that offends you, don't watch it. Because the more you watch it, the more people say, oh, they must like this. And so they keep showing it. Or the more you watch stuff like that, it says, oh, that's great. I'm going to roll with that. But be that as it may, I'm going to just flat out ask you, were you offended by Tropic Thunder? Were you offended by Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in Tropic Thunder? And did Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in Tropic Thunder stop you from watching him as Iron Man? 3 times at least. So, is it the characterization, the character, or the actor that you dislike? Big difference depending on which one it is that you don't like. I don't like Laurence Olivier's characterization of Othello. I don't like his version of Othello. I don't dislike Laurence Olivier. I think it's very disappointing that Laurence Olivier chose to do that, but I don't dislike Laurence Olivier as an actor. It doesn't make him a less effective actor because he was great in the 1978 Dracula. I liked him in that. You know, and there are a couple other movies he did that I liked him in. Shoot, Orson Welles did blackface in Othello before Laurence Olivier did. Do we hate Orson Welles? Don't we got to separate the character from or from the actor? You know what I mean? The role, the situation. You know what I mean? Because y'all ain't start. Because clearly nobody was hating Robert Downey Jr. Or at least y'all wasn't hating him enough for him to be sat down or for somebody to say, we gonna get a new Iron Man, we gonna get a new Tony Stark. They didn't do that. So is that a byproduct of Robert Downey Jr. being Robert Downey Jr., that performance being what it was, or Hollywood being what it is? We screaming and hollering. Well, we're not, but you know, white body people are screaming and hollering about this Cleopatra documentary on Netflix. Are they angry at the actress Adele James for playing Cleopatra? Or are they angry at the characterization? Are they angry at her nose? Are they angry at her lips? Are they angry at her hair? Because we know historically, Cleopatra don't look like Elizabeth Taylor neither. But ain't nobody hollering and screaming about that. What we talking about over here? They don't care, but the box office made them realize. At Gray, yeah, I thought of Johnny Depp. I took his portrayal as a parody of blackface. Did you enjoy that portrayal, Theo? Were you entertained by it? Theo is right. RDJ was mocking method acting. Okay. I'll go with that, Paul. I'll go with that. But is that the same thing as what Richard Dreyfuss is talking about? Kimoyo Kid, weird like John Wayne as Genghis Khan. David Carradine as Kwai Chang Caine in Kung Fu. A rule originally written by and potentially for Bruce Lee. David Carradine don't look nothing like Bruce Lee. And he damn sure don't fight like him or move like him. But it wasn't until after Kung Fu was off the air, I think, when people started having issue with David Carradine. That shit catapulted David Carradine. I used to see David Carradine in kung fu magazines and karate magazines and all kind of stuff. David Carradine didn't start learning martial arts till he took that role. Go Hollywood, go. It was still blackface, said Kamoyo Kid. I can have a beer with RDJ after I help him up. Oh, shit. Okay, Diabolical Nerd said, I agree with D. Steezel regarding Tropic Thunder. As far as Robert Downey blackface, I think it was more to make fun of the racists that did blackface than being disrespectful, in my opinion. Gray, let's bring it on home, Gray. RDJ played it as a parody of method actors' mentality of tackling any role, whether they need to or not. Remember, Julia Roberts wanted to play Harriet Tubman. Yes, I do remember that. Black Jesus say bingo. RDJ's commentary on the Blu-ray explains what his intentions were, and he said it was a one-time only role. Adrian Brody was attached to play Michael Jackson at some point. Hey, they got a Michael Jackson movie coming out, don't they? Or was that a deep fake? I hope it was a deep fake. I love my black folk, but we are too accepting of whatever is tossed into our faces for consumption as long as it makes us laugh. I believe that Richard Dreyfuss was speaking of. I believe what Richard Dreyfuss was speaking of is different than what RDJ did. RDJ was a white character playing a black character. The other guy was playing a black character. Okay. So from what you're saying, Theo, it's okay to put on blackface if you're not playing a black character. Because I've done many videos about Christmas time in the Netherlands and Black Pete and the entire nation doing blackface. So where does that fall? Oh, we're celebrating, so it's okay. I mean, that's essentially what we're getting into when we say this. What we're saying is, are we as blacks, African Americans, are we the gatekeepers of who should and who shouldn't do blackface? Ooh, this conversation took a real turn. Who's the gatekeeper? Who says what is and ain't okay when it comes to that? And if so, we got to be fair across the board. If we say blackface ain't cool, period, I don't give a damn what you doing with it or how you meant it. It ain't cool. Is that the case? Or are there instances where we can go, I'm going to let Robert Downey Jr. slide because he was exceptionally entertaining and he didn't really mean to be disrespectful? How's that work? David Carradine actually pissed me off. I felt the same way. Ooh, it moved. I felt the same way. Green Hornet. No way Bruce should have been a sidekick. He should have been the main guy. Well, funny you should mention that, Diabolical, because over in China, when they showed the Green Hornet, that show was billed as the Kato show. So, yeah, he actually did get the shine when they showed the show in China. That's what gave him the strength to go over to Hong Kong and do the Big Boss and Fist of Fury and stuff. Because, Muggs was loving Bruce Lee over in China. MJ would have been hilarious as Jar Jar Binks. Nope. Nope. Okay. Can Dave Chappelle do a white face character in a film? Would whites be good with it? Dave Chappelle did do a white face character on his show a couple of times. I don't think white people regard whiteface the same way black people regard blackface, because Muggs thought white chicks was hilarious. I'm talking about white people. White people thought white chicks was hilarious. I mean, you had an article here and there about, offensive, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get that. But I mean, overall, it wasn't like everybody wasn't outraged, is what I'm getting at. And White Chicks was pretty much well received, as was Tropic Thunder. So maybe the general public did see it as Robert Downey Jr. method acting. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy, but every Halloween and Comic-Con, there are those of us who dress up in whiteface. How many black comedians have worn whiteface? There you go, Gray. There you go, Gray. Eddie Murphy played the old man in Coming to America. We all laughed. So is there a double standard here? So do we go? So do we go, for all of the years that white people oppress black people, at the very least we should be able to do is dress up in whiteface and go, ha, 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 ha. Is that the dynamic? Or should it be wrong to do no matter what? And bear in mind, I'm just being the devil's advocate, y'all. I ain't trying to make nobody think no particular way, just trying to expand your horizons and say, look at it from more than one perspective. Because like my man Theo always say, two things can be true at the same time. So if you like, look at it that way. And don't be mad when you see a white person in blackface, if they're method acting or playing Othello. But if they, well, I give you one. There's a movie. Matter of fact, let me look it up so I can give you the deets on it. It was a book and it was also a movie. It was called Black Like Me. It was published in 1961 by John Howard Griffin. And it is the story of a white man who dyes himself black to go amongst black people and learn about the plight of black people in the 60s in the South. Now, are we mad at James Whitmore is the actor who played this character? And I remember, didn't Ice Cube have a show on I think it was on FX, where black families dressed up like white families and vice versa? Wasn't that what that show was? Were we offended by that? I'll give y'all a second to populate the chat because I know I done sparked some stuff. Oh, where we at? Yeah, Kamoyo Kid. I just remember his white news reporter character, Chuck Taylor. Ding ding. That one. Because White Chicks was comedy, right? You tell me. I thought imitation was flattery. Well, there is imitation and there is mockery. Imitation, lot different, lot different. But we should be able to tell the difference, I guess is what I'm getting at. Uh, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, I guess that could have been construed as imitation. And that's how I view Tropic Thunder. White chicks. Get my Robert De Niro face. Jamie Foxx did Tyrone Koppel. He sure did, didn't he? I feel Howard Stern in blackface was different than RDJ. Okay. So it is the intent of the blackface. So is Laurence Olivier as Othello meant to offend, or is he simply playing the character as it was supposed to be played, or our sensibilities just saying we won't accept anything but a black actor in a black role? In Tropic Thunder, you even had the black character question RDJ's character about blackface. Yeah, he wanted to do that show, but they canceled it. That joint was be damn good. Y'all have to give Dryface a pass because no one committed to saying RDJ violated. And I tell you, if you go back and watch the video, I wasn't frying the man. I was simply saying, where you at with it? Or are you saying what you sound like you saying? And how do we feel about it? How did we feel about it? I mean, personally, the energy he was giving off was very conservative, so it made me uncomfortable anyway. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm watching Fireline. Fireline is a conservative show. So they're going to voice their opinions comfortably. And if that makes me uncomfortable, I got options. One of those options is to not watch it. One of those options is to not talk about it. One of those options is to not give energy to it. But because I like this format and I like an open format and I like people to discuss and express themselves, I'm not trying to curtail what anybody thinks or believe, and I'm not trying to tell anybody they're wrong. Because there's a couple trains of thoughts with this. If you're mad at the character, then just don't look at characterizations like that. If you're mad at the actor, don't F with the actor. If you don't like blackface, if you don't like whiteface, why would you expose yourself to it? Make sense? That's what I'm saying with this Cleopatra stuff. Same thing. Get to the underlying root of what's pissing you off about the situation and be real with yourself. That's what these Egyptian folks ain't doing. That's what these Caucasian wannabe scholars and experts are doing. They ain't offended at the fact that people are implying that Cleopatra may have been something other than white. They're offended at the fact that a black woman is portraying someone they feel should be portrayed by an Egyptian actor. Bar none. If you wanted her portrayed by an Egyptian actor, why didn't y'all get an Egyptian actor? Or say we think y'all should have an Egyptian actor in this, or why don't y'all get an Egyptian actor? Why did y'all get this woman? Express yourself. Okay. On It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I think a white character did blackface as an homage to Murtaugh in their fan-made Lethal Weapon movie. I think they realized it wasn't cool. Richard is coming to it as it's his right as an artist to it when there are capable actors of that character's race who can do the role justice. Also, he's knocking down representation to do it. Now, that gray makes sense to me. That is a viable argument. And that is indeed where he was coming at it from, was from an artist standpoint. He feels like, as an artist, not a white man, as an artist. Because if he's saying an artist, that means a Latino could play Othello, an Asian actor could play Othello, an Australian Aborigine could play Othello, as long as they down with the art form. But like you said, best actor for the job. Best actor for the job. I would start with the best black actor to play Othello. If I couldn't find a good black actor to play Othello, then I would. Because we got to contribute that also to, like, what were lead acting roles like for black actors in the 1960s? You name them on one hand. That's how scarce black roles were. And then I could see, to me, that's an insult to give a white actor a black role, and there are black actors who could have played it. Also, too, like I said earlier, Sidney Poitier was in the conversation because he had won an Oscar. He's an Oscar-winning black actor. Why would you not want a Oscar-winning black actor attached to your movie? Okay. I remember reading it, watching that. He got a harsh, rude awakening during his experiment of being disguised as us. Although blackface should never be tolerated, there is a gray area. Okay. RDJ was basically doing an extreme version of Johnny Depp and Christian Bale, aka the ultimate method actors. Got it. Got it. Laurence Olivier was hired in place of a qualified black actor to play a black character. Why? Because Hollywood deemed a black actor inferior. Therein lies the sign. There were qualified black actors. And like I said, Theo, one had just recently won an Academy Award. Why would you not? So, yeah. Yeah, they'd have to explain that. Why would you go with a white actor when there were black actors? Why did no black actor even play Othello until 1995? Explain that. Okay. Come on, your kid said the black guy in Tropic Thunder was just like the brother in The Love Guru. He was a neutered straight man to the comedian. Ooh. Okay, Walter Wilder, DeVille Martin was in that. I believe the writer of that book became of problems with the color he put on his skin. They are mad about a black woman portraying her when there was no such thing as black women when Cleopatra was alive. I believe they are mad about a black woman portraying her because she's black. That's why they're mad. They're mad at that. They don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like that. No red, no right, no yellow, but okay. Othello issue was not blackface so much as why they had to do the blackface in the first place. Racism and exclusion. Yes, that is what that was. That's why every time they dig up one of the pharaohs and queens, they get disappointed. It would be wrong to do anyway, but when one race has a stronghold on the industry, they're going to do what they're going to do, not caring what anybody thinks. Fish killed that role too. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Minute 45 mark. It is Q&A time. What y'all got for me? Nothing? No thoughts? Nothing you want to share? No question you want to ask? Question that you can ask? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? Somebody? Okay. 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 Ninja toe behind me. Ninja toe behind me. Ninja toe behind me? Oh! Nah. Nato. How did I end up in Alaska? A bet. Largely a bet. More than anything else. A bet. A sincere desire to help a friend. It's a lot more complicated than that, and I'm not willing to go into more than that. Let us just say the answer to that question is a bet. Hello, that's what I was wondering too, D. Diesel. There are tons of black people in Alaska, by the way. It's not just me and two other guys. It's a whole network of people. But do you know black people were instrumental in building the Alaskan Canadian highway? Bet y'all didn't watch my video on that, huh? Yes. It's a Black History Moment, Alcan Highway. Yes, I did a video on that. Black engineers. And the brigadier general that was in charge of the engineer corps was racist. Watch the video, y'all. For real. What else you got? Sandra says she like white chicks. See, I could take that a couple of ways, but I know what you mean. Do you think Denzel Washington is playing Septimus Severus in the Gladiator sequel? Is Denzel Washington in the Gladiator sequel? You're going to make me look that up now, Gray. Do you prepare for dark winter like on Life Below Zero? No. 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 There's technically you can't prepare for it getting dark. I mean, you can. I mean, there are some people that put foil on their windows in the summer. There are some people that, got rituals that they do. They have like lights like what I got on me right now, but they have those lights on because, they have seasonal affective disorder here, and, it'd be a lot of suicides out in the rural areas. So having light and a lot of vitamin D3 helps. I've learned. How many puffy coats do I got? None. Because for the most part, I go from my house to my car to my work to wherever I got to go and back. I'm not an outdoorsy type person. You might get me to go sledding with the kids a couple times if they really want to go. Might even get me outside for a couple other things. But for the most part, black folks is the same all over when it comes to cold weather. We just learn to adapt and survive here. Let me see. I do plan on visiting there, though. It looks beautiful there. It is beautiful. It is beautiful in a Alaska kind of way. I got some buddies coming up here next week from Texas and Kansas City, and a couple of them have never seen an actual mountain before. So that's probably going to be culture shock to them. What else? Ever seen a Bigfoot? Come on, your kid. I done seen about as many Bigfoots as you have, bro. And wouldn't it be a Yeti here? I only asked because you're the first brother I met from there. Well, I don't tell nobody business, but suffice to say, there are a lot of brothers from Alaska who live in other places. Kitty said, yeah. Okay, Diabolical Nerd. Yeah, I got a lot of catching up on the videos. Just been so busy, a lot of work and sacrifice. But also, everyone hit that like button and share this and other videos. Yeah, what he said. With Alexander Dumas's father's exploits and knowing they're black, should we claim D'Artagnan and the Count of Monte Cristo going forward? Yes, Gray. Yes. What is the coldest temp you have experienced? Frozen testicles. Frozen toes. The coldest, I don't know if I was keeping track, but when it's below zero here and you have wind chill factor, it's been like minus 45, minus 60. But I ain't out in it. I'm just, bruh, long as they got heat, man, I'll be all right till I get out of here. Let me see. Hello, man. I want to ride ATV up there badly. It is very fun. I've ridden an ATV up here a couple times, and yeah, had a blast. It was a great time. Great time. You get dirty, but it's a great time. I actually rode an ATV in Mexico. That was pretty cool too. LOL, man. Okay, I read that. Mountains are beautiful. Seen mountains here in Georgia and while I was in Utah working. These days, I've been around snow all my life. Do you have all your black superhero comics grouped together like I do? I have. I want to go over there and grab it, but I'll have to pull some stuff. Anyway, I have shoe boxes that I use to separate like black comics, like landmark stuff, like the first appearance of Falcon and Captain America, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire #1, that first appearance of John Stewart and Green Lantern, New Warriors #1, all the comics that got like the first appearance of black characters in them. I have those grouped together, and then I have another grouping like for my Luke Cage and my Black Lightning, and the Spawn, all the black based stuff is together in a long box. So there, that. Wendigo, exactly. Marvel Comics outside of T'Challa, what other characters would you like to see on the big screen that we haven't seen? I'd love to see something done with Gladiator. Comic book characters. Okay, outside of Blue Marvel, that guy. Icon. I would love to have an Icon and Rocket movie. I would love to have a Static Shock movie. I would love to have a Hardware movie. I would love to have a Mr. Terrific movie. Bronze Tiger. I would love to see a decent portrayal, live action portrayal of Bronze Tiger. Who else? And of course, a respectable T'Challa, bring him back alive. Storm, the usual suspects. I would like to see a Captain Africa movie. That would be cool. I would like to see a live action depiction of the Orisha Shango, the Orisha Ogun. I'd like to see, some kind of depiction of that. Other than American Gods. Red Lion. Yeah, technically, I guess Red Lion is black, isn't he? Mari McCabe. Aren't they making a Vixen movie or a Vixen like series? I know they had a cartoon and she done made appearances on like Legends of Tomorrow and that kind of like CW. But something outside of CW, I thought. But it's Mari McCabe, so probably not. Will they ever upgrade hardware suit? Will hardware ever upgrade hardware suit? I want to see the Star Jammers. You have to get a whole bunch of stuff before you get to Star Jammers, because if they just take the Star Jammers and go, wham, here you go, Star Jammers. You can't have Star Jammers without the Imperial Guard. You can't have the Imperial Guard without the Shi'ar. You can't have the Shi'ar without the X-Men. You can't have none of that without Lilandra and Xavier getting together, at least to tell a linear story. But if you just want to like shoehorn stuff in like they like to do, then yeah, go ahead and throw Apocalypse in there for poots and giggles. A real Storm, Janelle Monáe-ish, not Zendaya-ish. I thought they were going to get, Janelle Monáe is the model for Sojourner Malene, the newest Black Green Lantern, the latest Black Green Lantern, with Night Thrasher leading. Okay, let's go. Let's get it. I'm with it. Okay, y'all. 7:38. I got to go. I enjoy these romps. I enjoy these meetings. I enjoy hanging out with all of y'all. I want to thank all of the people in the chat who commented. I want to thank all of the people in the chat that didn't comment. I want to thank all of the people that was just in the chat laying low, not saying nothing, just being spectators. Thank you for coming and spectating and watching. I hope you enjoyed Thursday Live on Be Real with D Real. I will be coming back at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good to each other. Real quick announcement. Next week, I will not be doing a Thursday Live because my baby's having a program. She's in a Shakespeare short. She's doing Much Ado About Nothing. So let's see what her comic chops is like. See if she can be a chip off the old block. So not gonna have one next week, but the following week I will be coming back at y'all with some live and some videos sprinkled in during the week. I'm out.